good evening to all our viewers. Thank you for making time and joining us on the evening review tonight. My name is David Namalenga, your host. Tonight on the show, we are joined by David Namalenga. He is the MD and also founder of Dinapama Manufacturing and Supply. It's a progressive company based here in Windhoek that is doing wonders. And it's always a pleasure to catch up with David. Very good evening to you, David, and thank you for making time.
Evening, Trevor, and it's nice being here.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, so how's everything going at Dinapama in particular? Because, of course, with related industries, I'm asking because we are emerging out of a pandemic and a lot of businesses have gone through a lot. I'm curious as to how Dinapama actually emerged out of that.
Well, we are pushing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the business is a business.
Yeah.
You know, you are required to go above it and pass through tough times.
Yeah.
So that's what it is, and we are pushing. We are prepared to move, and it is the past now when we talk about the pandemic, although the people are still saying it's not over and over, but
yeah.
I mean, we are breathing. So we are able to push further. Probably what we can say is really that we did not to send anybody home during that period. So we are intact.
Yeah.
And we are ready to push business forward.
Yeah. So, you know, for a fully Namibian company that was started from scratch, I remember the history always of Dinapama. I think you told me once that you started operating from a tiny something in Vanaheda there many years ago. Yeah. So, I'm wondering as to how the support has been from the systems and policies that we have to support Dinapama and other businesses that are fully local.
Well, it is, you know, sometimes we have different understanding on what is the support and what not. I always challenge everybody to say, you know, no one, a citizen of this country, even yourself, if you come to Dinapama to buy something, you are not supporting.
Yeah.
You are building a country. So that's part of construction. We construct this economy by buying and by growing the economy of the country. So procurement is part of it. We are talking about growth at home strategy. We are talking about NDP 5. We are talking about Vision 2030. We counted to check how many years now we have between now and 2030. So that's what we do. Now, the question always is to say the system.
Yeah.
Probably the question to you is, what is the system? Because me and you are a system.
Yeah.
So when you come to buy the system, the economy is growing. It's a question of now saying, who is the system? A chief control officer in a particular ministry, a CEO in a particular company, a clerk in a particular company is a system. So probably it's really a question of saying, how do we understand our economy? How do we understand the content of Vision 2030, NDP 5, and growth at home strategy? What inform us to say that? How familiar are we with those policies? So if we are familiar with it, we are then able to say, if by this year we want to arrive at this, what are the activities that we need to carry out between the now and there? So that is the education that we need to go out there. I think most of us, we are lagging behind around that. We do not understand that, you know, it is only when we fully participate in the economic development of our country that the economy will grow. It is only when we seriously understand and appreciate that our contribution from the ground floor to the top is important.
Yeah.
I used to be told, you know, everybody want to blame everybody.
Yeah.
And if there is credit, everybody want to take a credit. So the issue here is we have people that are far that we blame every day.
Yeah.
The president, for example, ministers. But who do the requisition?
Yeah.
Who approve those requisitions? They will never arrive there. They are just here in the middle. So, and these are the people that we, you know, every time, you see, we have issues like policies.
Yeah.
Those are policies that are made purposefully to push the development of the country. But you need to understand the policy and you need to interpret the policy properly. And if the policy is then not addressing issues, if it's prohibiting the growth, you need to push for the review. And only the people that are using it on daily basis that are able to experience these problems. If they are not raising it, then it becomes a problem of technocrats. And these are the issues that we have. So, for example, you know.
So let me interrupt you there a little bit. So businesses like Dinapama that have grown exponentially since their inception, was that a result of you and your employees, for example, pushing hard, or was it also assisted by good policies, state policies that allow businesses like yours to sort of grow in that space? Because the reason why I'm talking about policy and systems is because sometimes those policies are prohibitive in really pushing you to punch above your weight.
Well, it's both.
Yeah.
You see, you need to create an environment that is conducive for work. That is then become internal. Then it become us, the Dinapama team. So how do we create an environment conducive to all of us? How do we create awareness that the purpose of us coming to work is to grow the economy and to solve our problem, to help us to live a life?
Yeah.
We are from the union, we are talking about decent work agenda. So it's not just about work, it's a work that gives a decent life to people, improve the livelihood of people. So therefore, this topic must be dealt with down here at the factory level. The discussion, the engagement, the discourse must be engaged, and everybody must understand why do we wake up in the morning. So what are the fundamental principles around why we do what we do? I think that is a home topic. Then you go out there to now say, how do you, and sometimes we are not at peace with each other in the country, because sometimes you get to somebody's office and somebody feel you are pushing, but the bottom line here is, you come to this office in the morning, I go to the other office, somebody go to the other office. The purpose is one, is to create the environment that is conducive for our people to live a better life. All of us. Now there is no competition, there is no fight between the one who work for the ministry, the one who work for the media, the one who work for the manufacturing, the one who work for anything. We all work to develop this country, and we must understand that. But again, we must be able to recognize and respect the roles that each other is playing in the economy. So, and that's really, I think, Toivo, what we need to do. Now, prohibiting. You see,
for example, on prohibition, I'm told, for example, that the manufacturing incentives that used to exist in the Ministry of, I think, Trade and Industry there, looks like some of those incentives have been taken away, which were very critical in helping your businesses.
Well, it's a question of application. Even if they were there, do really people understand them? Do they meant something? And that's why I think when they were removed, it's because apparently they were not being used. So we applied for manufacturing status. We thought it benefiting us anything. We didn't get anything from that. So we, look at like rebates, for example. when you import our material that we are importing, I mean, everything almost that we are bringing in this country, we are importing fabrics. So you pay with nose. You almost make a loss at the harbor. So SACU system is there to, South Africa do better because they have their own manipulative way of bringing this thing in, and then you suffer here, and then nobody would want to sit down and review this, really get to understand, develop rebates for the people. So that's what I'm saying. We need to understand what policy means. Yeah. It's really a struggle, and I hope people understand the environment must be conducive. People, and again, it is not really something that you must just study. There must be a trigger. Yeah. What trigger? We raise our point now and then. We write letters to say this is what we need, and for you must be able to go to the ground, engage the people. Find what they are, because that's only how you can, take an informed decision. So this, more particularly in the sector in which we are, you have seen, Toivo, that manufacturing sector, garment manufacturing, is big in the world, because these products are renewable. Yeah. Every human being, just like food. These are sustainable business, suppose. In the world, they create thousands of jobs. Yeah. We were talking recently in a meeting that was held in Cape Town for the African countries on African Free Trade Area. And we were specifically looking at this sector. Now, many countries, including Ghana, who had these factories before. There were many, and now I was told I think there are only 4. Yeah. One cater for 8,000 workers, and another one cater for, and then 3 together cater for around 8,000. South Africa was almost slaughtered by the influx of cheap goods from somewhere there in the world. And so now Ethiopia, I think, is pushing. So Ethiopia, I think, is leading now in the industry, and the Swatini and Lesotho, I think, they're also pushing now. But one should be invited in one way or the other as a government and as people to go and study in those countries and find what is that what they are doing that what we are not doing. Because the government to government has got standing relations, and we are able to do that. So that alone tells us that the challenges that we are facing, those are the challenges that faced African country before. Yeah. That are the challenges that have reduced this industry. I just came now from, in January, I went with a team of young to country like Indonesia, where we are procuring our fabric. I went to Thailand, I went to Singapore, and I turned through India. So where huge systems and big things that are happening in the country, where they are growing the economy, number of people that are employed. And you go to a factory in Mumbai, for example, that have 32,000 people. You can clearly see, and they are not just living a life, they are living a decent life by doing what we do. So there are examples out there worth emulating, but they are policy driven and deliberate. So, and that's why at Dinapama we are saying every year we bring in around 50 young employees, young trainees for 3 months, and those that fit our environment can cope with those, and if they successfully completed after 3 months, we employ them. So this year we done the same. So now with the with work picking up here and there, we also, I think, by the beginning of June, we also want to put in 50 still, so that we really push. So, but it needs an understanding. One must ask a question to say, why this industry did not grow? And why, if we are addressing every day. So the challenge, Toivo, is really what we are almost sensitive about talking to each other and telling each other the truth. The reality here is we don't go to listen to budget because the budget, the money that's available is almost, big of it is going outside of this country. And therefore, there's nothing much of interest to the people because it's going out. Now, what are the things that must bring job to this country?
We'll answer that question after the break. Thank you, Dave. We go for a quick break and then return.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
The conversation continues. Dave, you were making a very good point about, or you made a good point about deliberate policies. How countries, especially in Asia, and China is one example, they have been very, very deliberate in their policies to get them where they are today. And, you know, the economic development, the job creation and stuff like that has been, in many countries, a result of deliberate policies. And you seem to suggest that implementation in our case is sometimes a challenge. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, implementation is a challenge because, you know, and I have made mention of NDP 5. I have made mention of Vision 2030, Growth at Home Strategy. These are clear documents. They have very clear moving points. So the only challenge is implementation. So, and that's why we have a lot of unemployed young people in the country, just because we are not implementing. The content in those documents are very clear. So, and that's why I always, you know, said sometimes we bump into each other, and we have to, because it's a country that is ours, and we have to do something about it. We need it to improve the livelihood of our people. We cannot allow ourselves to have people who completed study, you know, you finish your degree and you do not get a job, you then go and do your master's, you still do not get, and you become 35 years old. When will you build a life? You are destroying people's life. So therefore, it's important for all of us to understand that it just as much as you want to live a life, every citizen wants to do the same. I'm not saying everybody, but there are those that are willing. There are those that are really not willing, unemployed, because they are unemployable. But there are those that are willing, educated or uneducated. They are willing to work. And if opportunity is granted to them, it must be given to the people, and the people must push. I am talking about tenders, for example. You are given a tender to do certain work. You run around the world while the thing is being made in the country, just to look for cheaper things so that you profit much, and you leave your people. What do you think? And when you get old, what will you leave outside? So why must the economy be in a pocket of one? We must be, we are not even, I always say there's a difference between a local supplier and the local manufacturer. So when you give it to a local supplier, you can go anywhere and they get what they get, and they leave the unemployed people. But I'm not saying you can give it to a local supplier who procure local. It's also okay. But running away with people's money and just bringing in things to profit yourself and leaving people unemployed, and you exchange life while others have not even a bread. It's unfair.
What are your thoughts on everybody's talking about oil being found and that maybe it will turn around our fortunes, and some people are concerned that, you know, we don't seem to have clear policies on beneficiation of our country. If Dave was in charge of some of these processes, what would be your approach?
Well, first I must say we have what we have currently.
Yeah.
We have uranium, we have diamond, and a number of other mineral resources. So what is the impact?
Yeah.
And we are the very same people who are going to apply the same. If we cannot do it with this one, why we only do it with the other one?
Yeah.
I don't want to go far. I think that's what I see.
Yeah.
I mean, what else? I mean, if these resources are created by God to help us, the other resources are just resources that are created by God for us as a nation. It's about application.
Yeah.
That's why people at school, we said applied knowledge.
Yeah.
You apply it. You use your knowledge. Otherwise, if you have knowledge that are not being applied, it's equivalent to no knowledge. And I challenge everybody here. We have a lot of graduation, even yesterday and today, graduation all over. Degrees, masters, PhDs, but no change in the country. Do you think we value those qualifications?
Yeah.
I mean, people are not eating paper. Let us be able to investigate the situation of the country and be able to turn this economic around. Yeah. We must not blame each other. We blame people who are very innocent. Everybody, and I challenge everybody, students are given money from NASFAF, which is a Namibian contribution. And when they study, they must be able to do contribution to the economy of this country. But, that's why I'm saying, why must I give you a bursary and after you study, you have no work? Yeah. It's a waste of money. Just from the beginning, you have a free education. You completed study. I have a boy from a Kuro secondary school who passed with only A. Yeah. 2014, he went to South Africa to do a study. He went to do this. Up to now, he has no job. The mother was excited in 2014. Yeah. But up to now, what else the boy must do?
Absolutely. It's a fair question. It's a fair question. But how did we get here? That at some stage of our country, we seem to have been very steady in really creating jobs, reducing unemployment, and then now the numbers are just so scary. The people who graduated that you referred to, when I was at university, once you finish at UNAM, those that did education and nursing and all these things, they will be swallowed up by the job market right away. Now we have teachers and the graduate teachers and nurses marching on the streets wanting jobs. How did we get here?
Well, we just get relaxed. We get complacency with, the system. We do not confront each other. Yeah. When we want to talk about a particular thing, to face each other, we don't face. Yeah. Because we feel, no, how do I make, when I say this, I will be pushing somebody. Each ministry, we need to talk to each other, and that's, we really become sensitive over each other. Yeah. And therefore, we are no longer performing. We are just trying to be here to keep each other happy. But, I mean, that's what it is. Else we would have implemented the policy that we made for ourselves. Yeah. So, and that's why I'm saying, there was an opportunity, because as the nation grow, as the population grow, opportunity must also grow, just to follow the population growth. But if the opportunities are not growing, for sure you will have nurses and teachers demonstrating. That is also a question of saying, do we have a relationship? Do we talk to each other? The education and the sectors, the economic sector. So do we check where the opportunity are so that we channel the number of students in the correct, correct fields for a purpose? Because when you produce teachers and you don't need them, what will you do? We are not just, teachers are not just teaching because they need work. They are teaching because there is a number of students that must be taught. So it's not just, you cannot just produce. You produce for a purpose. Yeah. and they be relevant, and they be current. Check the situation, analyze, and they channel the resources accordingly.
Yeah, absolutely. Dave, it's always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, my brother.
I appreciate it.
And we must continue advocating, good governance, advocating growing the economy for the people.
I agree.
Okay, my man.
Yes. That was David Namalenga. He's a former unionist. He's the founder of Dinapama Manufacturing and Supplies. Just really sharing his views on how we can do things better in our country. Thank you for watching.